Well, hello. Okay, if you missed today, I'll show you where we're at. This right here in your notes, Protect the People, John Locke. So we are right here. Good old Adam Smith. Okay, Adam Smith is another one of our English. He's Scottish actually, but that's British. But he's one of our philosophers. Okay, I do lump him in with the English. I'm sorry, but he is actually Scottish. Whatever. This right here is Adam Smith. Okay, I hear this every year. Miss his nose. Okay. The other thing I hear every year, his wig is like those guys in the colonies. Look at his dates so that you get context. Was he alive during the American Revolution? Yeah, he was. Same time period. Okay. Okay, so Adam Smith is really kind of more of an economist. He often gets like he's often known as like an early capitalist. If you're like capitalism, what? We're getting there. I'll talk about it when we get to the 1800s. But Adam Smith really pushes this idea. It's a French term. It's called laissez faire. Okay, look, I actually don't think I need to move my picture, but yeah, that's okay. Okay, listen, I've had kids in the past that are like, Miss, it's laissez faire. Hey, guess what? I had a French student, student from France. And I asked him, hey, how do you say this word? You know what he told me? Laissez faire. So whatever, okay, if you hear it laissez faire in America, okay. But he really pushes this idea of laissez faire, which literally translates to let alone. If I walked up and down the hall and I was like, laissez faire, don't touch me, leave me alone. That's kind of the mindset. Except he's talking about government. Leave businesses, leave the economy alone. He says, dude, let people get as rich as they want. Y'all, look at his dates. He's alive at the time that England is passing a whole lot of taxes on American colonists. You learn these in the 8th grade. Like the Tea Act, that's the tax on tea. The Stamp Act, that's the tax on all paper goods. Do you remember this? There's another one. Sugar Act. These are all those intolerable acts, okay? And he's like, okay, look, you're putting all these extra taxes on us, so we can't make any money. He says, listen, England, I would actually spend more money if I had more money, which means you would get more of my money in sales taxes if you quit taxing us to death. He says, but out of business. Laissez faire. Let us make money. Stop controlling our businesses and start protecting our businesses. Okay, listen. There is a difference in controlling a business and protecting it. Sometimes instead of protecting a business, you'll hear it said regulating a business. You're like, that's not protecting. It's protecting the people. Here's what I mean. Controlling a business would be, we see it a lot in communism. You may not sell more than 50 hot dogs at your hot dog stand. You know why you can't? Because I'm only going to give you enough stuff to make 50 hot dogs. You can't make more because I control your stuff. And you're like, why? I can sell 500 in a day. Yeah, but the hot dog stand down the street, we need you guys to be equal. We need you guys to be selling the exact same amount of stuff. So we control that business. Regulation looks like this. You may not have kids working in your factory. If a kid is 7 years old, he may not work in your factory. Aren't both of them controlling the business? The first one is control, because what is the purpose? Is the purpose to protect? Well, yeah, the purpose is to make it so that people are even and equal. Why? Who does that protect? The person that is poor. Does it? Maybe the person that is poor because he's in the wrong location. Maybe if he moved his his hot dog stand another block over, he'd make a lot more money. Maybe his hot dogs are more expensive. I don't know. Maybe he's only open for half of the amount of time that the other guy is. There's all kinds of reasons that don't have to do with make them even. Okay, listen. Regulation is often for the purpose of protecting. We are protecting those children so they don't have to be part of the awful child labor that was happening. The idea is, are you controlling for power or are you regulating to protect something? Do you see that differentiation? Squirrel. Okay. He's not telling the government to butt out completely. Okay. Adam Smith talks about the importance of the invisible hand, and he's very negative toward the invisible hand of government and economy, as well as not so negative about it, because there's good and bad things, right? If they're protecting you, then that's good. If they're not, then that's bad. Okay, so again, the idea isn't look at the law that's passed. The idea is look at the reason. A great example of that I know a lot of you aren't going to agree with, and that's fine, you don't have to. But a great example of that, I mean, we're right in the middle of all this quarantine COVID weirdness. And honestly, I'm antisocial enough. This quarantine has not bothered me one bit. All right, terrible. Okay, but businesses have been highly regulated. Now, a lot of businesses were completely shut down. I know, I was there. I was one of them. I guess I wasn't shut down. School, I just couldn't go in person. But what was the purpose? Well, they wanted to destroy our entire economy. No, guys, being in Midland, I know that it's hard because we're oil, and all of our oil was like, if we're shut down, we can't do our oil thing and we just lose jobs. I know that. But what was the intent? I know, I've seen it just like you have. You always have the people that are like, the government is controlling us with COVID. You're always going to have that. But are they? Now, that's an opinion. That's up to you to decide. Okay, if you think they are, okay. If you think they aren't, okay. But you have to look at the why to know whether the business is being controlled or regulated. Allowing businesses to open back up, but slowly, you are allowing them to open. I know, but it's not fair because I work at the movie theater and I lost my job. I'm sorry. And the economy is going to come back. That's the crazy thing about economy. It's going to come back. We're going to talk about this a lot more whenever we look at the Great Depression. Okay. I already mentioned it whenever we looked at the joint stock companies. On your phone, you have an app somewhere called Stocks. Mine is in my don't use section. It looks like this in the middle. The one in the middle with the graph. Okay. Because I don't use it. Except to teach. Okay, look. Yes! The example I wanted to make, I can. Okay. This is stocks today. Last week, I was making the videos about transoceanic trade with you guys, exploration, right? And I was using this just last week to show you guys stock in joint stock companies. Yeah. And I told you, I pointed out Starbucks to you. Starbucks was low. I don't remember the number, but it was low. It was under. People were losing money from Starbucks in stocks. Ugh. Okay, you know what? It's 5 o'clock on a Monday right now. Look at my computer, my laptop, whatever. It's 5 o'clock on Monday, June 22nd, bottom left-hand side. Everybody's on their way home. And when it's been a just frustrating day, I often go to Starbucks on the way home. In fact, I have it more often on the way home than on the way to work because in the morning the line's just too long. Well, everybody and their dog is going. So stocks have jumped up. Starbucks, it's green. Do you see this? I can't see what it is. Oh, plus 0.001. 0.00, wait, no, plus 0.01. It's up 0.01 a penny. Yes. Starbucks is up. Guys, last week when we looked at this, Starbucks was down because the economy is in constant fluctuation. We definitely had a recession, especially us in Midland with oil, with the whole COVID thing. It'll come back. It'll come back. Even the Great Depression. I mean, it took 10 years, but it'll come back. He says, just butt out, government, and let businesses go at their own ebb and flow. If there's a high point for a business, cool, don't tax them more. Let them make money, because the more money they make, the more people they're going to hire. Ooh, the more they're going to go out and buy more Starbucks, and that's going to boost Starbucks. And then you're going to go to McDonald's on the way home, and that's going to boost McDonald's. And then you're going to buy, I don't know, Disney Plus, and that's going to boost Disney. And then you're going to buy a new house, and that's going to boost the retail market. He says, just quit controlling how rich people can get. Let us make money. That is a very capitalist idea, okay? It's not socialist necessarily or communist at all, which I'll get to later. Okay, let's deal with her. Yeah, you heard me. Her. Mary Wollstonecraft. How is that for a last name? Ooh, that's cool. Wollstonecraft. She has a very famous daughter, by the way. You all know her daughter. You don't know you know her, but you do. Her daughter's name is Mary Wollstonecraft. It's like Mary Jr. Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. That's her married name. Mary Shelley. You're like, I don't know her. She's the author in the 1800s of Frankenstein. Just a little side note. Okay. Mary Wollstonecraft writes a book. I don't think I put the book, like a picture, but I do have a picture of her. Mary Wollstonecraft. There she is. Okay. She writes a book, Vindication of the Women, or something, something, something. Vindication of Women. She's a feminist. Hold on. Whoa, doggy. Okay, now listen. She does kind of get credit for being one of the early feminists in the world. Did I put that on here? I actually absolutely did. However, okay, listen, she is not a feminist like what we would think of today in 2020, or even what they would think of back in, I don't know, the 1960s when the whole, I don't remember, oh, I wasn't alive, duh, but the whole women's lib stuff was happening. Yeah, she's not like that, okay? She wasn't even a feminist like the early suffragettes. We want to vote. No, 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 no. She's 1700s, okay? And this sounds horrible. Girls, I'm a girl. I feel your pain. She knows her place in society. You're like, did Miss Amber just say that? Yes. Sorry. Um, Mary Wollstonecraft knows her place. According to back then, her place is beside her husband and taking care of their kids. But Mary Wollstonecraft says, educate your women. Fathers, educate your daughters. Brothers, educate your sisters. Husbands, educate your wives. Educate your women. Yes, feminism. Because she says, if you educate your wives, they're going to be such better mommies and wives. But I thought she was all about women's power. No, she is considered one of the earliest feminists, but y'all listen, she is not talking women have power. In fact, she has a famous quote. It's one of the quotes you're gonna read. Actually, you probably won't, because if you're watching this, that means you missed today in class. So never mind, just kidding. She has a quote that says, I do not wish women to have power over men. I just want them to have power over themselves. She is not promoting female power, like take over, or females should have the same jobs as men, or anything like that. It's like she takes a step forward for women's rights by saying, educate us, please. But then she takes a step back because she says, man, if I knew things, if I was highly educated, I could be such a better mommy. I mean, she's right. That's true. But today we would be like, seriously? If you were educated, you could have a career and you could like stand up to men, right? We would add all this stuff onto her. But you have to remember, like, point of view, time period, context. What time period is she in? 1700s. The feminist movement is just starting right now. And in England in the 1800s, it's going to get a little crazy. Okay. Women are going to be doing like the, what are they called? The hunger strikes. That's what it is, where you just don't eat, you starve yourself until you get what you want. Or they're going to be like you see in movies where they like tie themselves to a post or something. They'll start that in the 1800s. All right. That's not now. She says, just educate us. We're not as dumb as you think. Guys, there was a major problem back then with husbands and wives not really knowing each other. Maybe there still is, I don't know. But a lot of the women were just dumb as bricks. And I'm not being mean again. Hello, I'm a woman. I get it. They were uneducated. Think about your circle of friends, who you hang out with the most, okay? Typically, what we see is your circle of friends are usually, and I mean your closest friends, you're usually going to be the same socioeconomic group. That doesn't mean race. It drives me crazy when people think race is the same as socioeconomic. It's not. Socioeconomic is like economic, your place in society. Okay. So typically you see people hanging out. You don't see the really rich hanging with the really poor often. Okay. You see upper middle class hanging with upper middle class, or lower class hanging with lower class, that kind of thing. You also tend to see, sociologically speaking, education levels matching. Think about your best friends. Now, there might be the one person in your group who's just so Kelso, it's not even funny, just dumb as bricks. There might be the really smart guy in your group. But generally speaking, y'all are kind of on the same level. That's why all you AP kids hang out together. Same level. Guys, people don't want to have a relationship with somebody. Let me change that. It's not that you don't want to. It's hard. Let me say it this way. It's hard to have a relationship with somebody when you're not on the same education level. You can't carry on conversations. You can't. They don't understand what you're talking about. I'm not best buds with a bunch of physicists and scientists. My two best friends are more on the artistic side of things. They are. That's where I'm at. Because if you try and talk to me about the physics of the universe, I'm like, meh, 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 and I don't want to have a conversation with them. Men and women throughout history, husbands and wives, remember I told you before, but marriage was often a economic or political thing, not a choice. Mary Wollstonecraft says, if you would educate your women, you'd have a much better relationship because you'd actually have somebody that you could talk to. Some of the most educated women throughout history, this is crazy, were some of the rich courtesans, prostitutes. Not the prostitute on the street, the rich ones. They were. They were highly educated and they were kept that way on purpose. The idea being the man does his thing and then he stays and he talks and he buys drinks there, like a bordello or whatever. Okay, the idea is they were some of the most educated women to keep them coming. You want to keep the men coming to the place because they want to talk to you, because they can't talk to their wives because their wives are dumb as bricks. Mary Wollstonecraft says, educate your women. They're capable of understanding. And if you do that, you'll have better relationships and they'll be better wives and mommies. Now, again, girls, I know you're like, oh, educate your women, yes. So they'll be better mommies? Oh. You have to start somewhere. There always has to be a start. Well, she's that start. Yeah? All right. Our English philosophes, done.